Do you know anyone in your life, maybe someone on TV, in politics, a celebrity, who no matter what happens, no matter what they do or say, they seem to have zero sense of shame? Irrespective of the terrible thing that they've done, it doesn't seem to affect them, to bother them in their soul. This is a problem. This is a Jewish problem, because we're meant to build up our capacity for boshet, for shamefacedness, for feeling that when we do something wrong, it should be hard to look at ourselves in the mirror, or to know that God is watching us, to look at a friend in her eyes. That's not to say we're not meant to have a healthy ego. We are. We shouldn't always feel lowly. But rather, when we do something wrong, there should be some internal turmoil. It shouldn't sit right with us. Our first text, coming from the Mishna, talks about when someone injures their friend. And there are 5 kinds of compensation that are then known. And one of them is for boshet, for the shame or the indignity that the harmed individual faces as a result of the injury. And what's interesting is that the money owed depends on the person who is injured as well as the person who does the injuring. That is, we all experience shame differently. And what might be shameful for one person won't be experienced as such for somebody else. Additionally, if it's a young child who injures you, perhaps by accident, as opposed to an important public figure who does so intentionally and publicly, that level of shame goes up, and so with the compensation. We should feel shame. It is important for our own growth. The prophet Jeremiah, in the second source, castigates those who are unable to feel shame. They've done abhorrent things, he says, and yet they do not feel shame. He recognizes not only the important things as being a problem, but the lack of any sense of regret or feeling that they've done something wrong. That's a problem too. And so for today's Nida, it's important that we look inwards and try to imagine, how do we think? How do we feel when we do something wrong? Do we just brush it off? Or does it affect us on the inside? How do we let that change grow and make us better? How do we work on our sense of shamefacedness in the year to come?